Academia. I'm Richard Price, founder and CEO of Academia.edu, and today we're about to take a deep, fascinating dive into a topic that, it truly sits at the fringes of scientific exploration, spirituality, and honestly, a bit of mystery. Let me just say right away, as always, I'm here to present this paper neutrally. I'm not endorsing or debunking the ideas, just helping you understand what's in it and why it might interest you. So today's paper comes from David G. Little. Yes, that's the name on the title page, and if that rings a bell, you may know him from his work with Satyam Yoga. The title, 12 Strand DNA Awakened by Kundalini. Phew, that's at its core the I big question. David's tackling is, can human DNA be awakened, expanded even, beyond what mainstream science recognizes by using Kundalini energy? Now, hang on. Most of us know that science teaches humans have 2 DNA strands, as the classic double helix, right? But some in New Age or alternative circles suggest there are an extra 10 hidden strands, making 12 in total. The twist here is, David's paper explores if these hidden strands, supposedly sitting within what's labeled junk DNA by geneticists, can be activated through the process of Kundalini awakening, a concept deeply rooted in yogic and spiritual tradition. So why is this significant? If you take it at face value, the implication is huge. Our potential isn't fully realized, and perhaps ancient spiritual techniques could unlock human capacities we haven't even dreamed of. Pretty wild to think about, right? And at the same time, I've got to be clear, this is highly speculative, it's not accepted by mainstream genetics, and David's drawing on both his own experiences and ancient spiritual texts. Now, how exactly does David approach this question? He weaves together several elements. First, he builds on his earlier work, in particular advanced astral physics, asserting that our 2 visible DNA strands are just the beginning. The others, according to this theory, are dormant, hidden in the mysterious stretches of so-called junk DNA. He suggests that these dormant strands could correspond with levels or knots. He calls them granthis, described in yogic texts. These knots block the flow of Kundalini energy, and as Kundalini rises up the spine, unlocking the energy centers, or chakras, these knots untie. When that happens, more DNA strands are activated, awakening higher states of consciousness or dimensions. Let's break down his theory a little. David proposes that as the Kundalini energy rises, it triggers, one by one, these dormant DNA strands or consciousness dimensions. For instance, when the Sushumna Nadi, a central energy channel inside the spine, opens, that represents the 3rd strand. When Kundalini passes through each of the 7 chakras, that's 7 more. And when it finally bursts through the top of the head, entering a spiritual God realization state that supposedly activates the 11th strand. The 12th is reached, David writes, when consciousness unifies with the total field of non-duality, think ultimate oneness. He also mixes in references to string theory, yes, physics, suggesting maybe these DNA strands overlap with the extra dimensions postulated in modern theoretical physics. And there's even a digression about alien DNA, with the idea that chunks of our DNA might be the result of ancient hybridization programs. I know lots to take in. The connections are imaginative, weaving science, metaphysics, and mythology together. For methods, David draws mainly from personal, anecdotal accounts, meditative experiences, yoga initiation rituals, and transmissions from gurus, including a vivid description of an astral initiation guided by the Anunnaki deity Enki. Yeah, I know, it's unusual. He suggests testing these ideas with advanced yogis and even floats the possibility of future scientific research projects, like a Kundalini research project, to see if physiological or genetic changes occur during deep spiritual practices. Now, as always, take a breath. This is David G. Little's theory. It's intended to push boundaries and invite new ways of thinking, not define settled science or fact. The listener might ask, what does this mean for me? Well, perhaps it's a call to explore your own frontiers. What might be possible if you question the boundaries you've inherited, whether that's intellectually, emotionally, or spiritually? Or maybe, what does this tell us about the human drive to imagine, sometimes wildly, what's possible? So, to wrap up, remember, academic research isn't absolute truth. It's a tool for pushing our understanding, and sometimes just sparking imagination. I'm Richard Price, and you've been listening to In Depth with Academia. Stay curious, question boldly, and I'll see you next time.